Hello, and welcome to What in the Mystical Hell. I am your host, Nikki Jobin.
And I am Lauren Aviance.
So what you just heard as we started leading in was our theme song that was written by our really good friend, Mr. Black. He thought it would be something fun. We love it. I hope you love it too. Yeah.
Love it. I think it's so awesome. Yeah. And I'm tickled.
Yeah. It's kind of kooky. It's kind of campy, which is exactly like us.
Totally.
What are we talking about tonight, Lauren?
We are talking about urban legends.
Ooh, urban legends. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Sorry, I'm trying to get us to the place here that I wanted to start talking about.
Well, urban legends are just that. Legends that kind of started in overpopulated areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that I remember them from being a kid.
Oh, I know. We had all kinds of stories.
All of them.
I think they were designed when, we were so out and wild. They were designed to kind of keep us close to home, but I don't think that they did.
No.
No, I think that we were like, woo, free for all. But those were the days that you were able to do stuff like, we'd play flashlight tag at midnight.
Yeah.
Or we would, I just remember us doing, we'd spend summers in Sacramento with my aunt, and we'd run wild pretty late.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was all the kids in the neighborhood. We all played together. I did the same thing when I grew up in Pacifica, except, when I was at home with my mom, you had to be home by the time that light turned on, like that street light in front of your house.
Right.
And for those of you in the younger generation, street lights didn't turn on all at the same time like they do now. I'm going to date myself because I am here sitting in my best get off my lawn life. But they used to turn on like one by one. I don't know if there was like a 2-minute interval or what the interval was that they did, but you'd start seeing the streetlights turn on, and then you knew you had to get home and you would run.
Yeah.
We'd be running, and then the old people on their porch would be like, you better get home. You better get home. Your mom's going to get you. But when we were in Sacramento, it was a completely different story. So what Lauren and I decided to do tonight was we were going to look up some stories on the internet. So we have a couple of Reddit stories that we are going to read, plus some urban legends that we found, and then we're going to discuss them and see what we think.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything you want to throw in before we get into these?
No. Other than I remember the one that I brought up earlier, which is the hook man, the hook on the outside of the car. The Lover's Lane.
Yeah,
there was always some cautionary tale about don't go to Lover's Lane.
Yeah, right.
I've been to Lover's Lane plenty of times in my life.
What's that? There's a line from a movie that is like, do not have sex and get pregnant because you will die. I think I'm paraphrasing it. I know the girls know it, but I don't remember the line. But yeah, it was always something designed to keep you from, going out and doing what young people always do.
Right.
Gosh, what was that one? You'd hear, it's always a deranged killer that escaped from a mental asylum. Yeah. And it didn't matter where you lived.
Right. Well, there was the one in the Staten Island, Cropsey.
Oh, yeah. No, we have, what's the one here in Marin?
Not sure.
San Quentin.
Yeah.
That's it's not an insane asylum. It's a prison. But I think that's the only close. Well, actually, when we were growing up in San Bruno, they had the San Bruno prison.
Yeah.
That's still a prison. I don't know if it's like a county prison or what have you. But yeah, that's right in... There's a whole suburban area that has built up around it.
We had St. Elizabeth's, but there were definitely escapees from St. Elizabeth.
Yeah. I don't think... I've never seen the signs that say... the signs they post up that say, do not pick up hitchhikers. But when we were driving, remember when we were driving back up, when we were on our road trip and we were driving back up the coast?
Yeah.
We were going through Lompoc and it was like, do not pick up hitchhikers.
It was a women's prison, right?
Mm-mm. It's a men's prison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a federal penitentiary at Lompoc.
Okay. I remember the signs not to pick up hitchhikers.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, would we be picking up somebody, some guy in an orange jumpsuit on the side of the road?
Yes, we would.
He looks nice. Maybe he has a puppy.
Maybe he's in the dog program in the prison.
Nice. Oh, God. But yeah, so the hook man, gosh, what would he do?
He would sneak up on the car while you were making out with your lover.
Oh, yeah, and then...
Yeah.
I wish I had sound bites on here so I could do the metal scraping on metal sound.
And then the lovers take off after getting spooked.
Yeah.
And they find a hook on the outside of the car.
Oh, yeah, and it's always the girl that's spooked. It's always the girl, what's that sound? What's that sound? Because, we're terrified somebody's going to see us with our bra off.
It's on the radio.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's on the radio. Escaped lunatic from the local asylum.
God, when you'd listen, when you'd have that stuff pop up, I feel like the radio shows aren't like you don't get that kind of stuff in radio shows anymore.
No,
with the DJs. This just in.
Yeah,
wish I could do a Walter Cronkite voice or something, but I can't. Yeah, and then they get home, and because the guy would always be like, "No, don't worry, it's fine. You're just hearing things because what's on their mind."
Right.
But the girl's always like, "No, I'm scared. Not me. I'd be the stupid one that would get killed because I'd be like, let's go look. Sorry.
Question, do you smell a men's cologne?
Do I? No. Oh, maybe you called the hook man.
Maybe I called the hook man up.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, as I look at the back door to make sure it is locked. So while normally we are recording at Heinold's, where Lauren works, today we are recording at my house. So now I'm looking at the doors to make sure everything's locked.
Let me know if something comes up behind me.
I will. Thanks. I will. Because I don't have to be faster than the killer. I just have to be faster than you.
Thank you.
Don't worry. I have lots of sharp implements that we can throw at people. Like I got scissors. I have metal skewers that I use for dressing candles. I don't know. I have the little cutters for the flame wicks. I could do some damage with that.
To his little peepee.
Yeah, right. And honestly, I live in a pretty safe neighborhood, but it is suburbia. So, the area that I live in is such a suburb that, statistically speaking, and I think I said this to Noelle when we moved in. I was like, statistically speaking, there's probably, there's one witch and there's one serial killer. I can only be the witch this time. But actually, statistically speaking, in a suburb area like this, somebody could be a serial killer.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, but we'd be safe because they don't really, hunt in the place that they live.
Right.
And, we're like a block and a half away from the police station. You're still smelling for the cologne, aren't you?
Yeah, it smelled like dude's cologne.
That's really odd. I have candles over there, but nothing that's scented. Did you really just check your deodorant?
Just checking.
Are you wearing men's deodorant?
No.
Lauren? Okay, well, I don't know. The weirdness that happens when we try to record stuff. I'm pretty sure, though, no dog will come up to the window because my dogs are upstairs. If a dog does come up to the window, I might, crap myself, but...
No, the dogs come around my job late at night to look for me.
Oh, yeah?
Because I give them treats.
They're like, there's Lauren, let's get a treat. My dogs kind of act like you don't carry any treats for my dogs? You were really still sniffing. No, I smell absolutely nothing, so it must be surrounding you. It's because you picked this story.
Maybe.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, so let's, as fun as that was, let's dive into our first Reddit story here. So this Reddit story, I looked through different kind of encounters, paranormal encounters, cryptid encounters. I tried occult encounters, but most of those were video, which, it's hard to get the detailing out of. But this story is called A Haunting That Left Me at a Loss for an Explanation. This was in the Reddit thread, Paranormal Encounters, and the user is impossible_unknown40. Now, this particular user is a paranormal investigator. So, he says here, I'm a paranormal investigator, or I'm not sure if this is male or female. I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm notably a skeptic. I believe, but I try to approach things with a measurable degree of skepticism. It's important to rule out the clear and present dangers in a situation before you look at the paranormal, which I wholeheartedly agree.
Right.
I think we are both very much of that debunk it mindset.
Right.
But so this is a story about an investigation that this person did, and there's somebody that tries to debunk things, and you know they were talking about things like carbon monoxide, and how if you have carbon monoxide in your living environment and you get poisoned by it, that it can cause things like hallucinations, which, you know, a lot of times I forget about that.
Right.
You know, that's a really easy thing to rule out. So they say, this is one of those cases where I am at a loss for an explanation. I was investigating a residence. Two friends, whom I'll call M and K, were living in a rental home and experiencing increasing levels of paranormal activity. I always jump at the chance to investigate residences. It's one of my favorite ways to investigate. I kind of like that too. I like investigating residences because I think it's safer. I get, you know, if you're investigating like the crazy house, what if it's really old and in disrepair, you know, and you fall through the floor of the asylum, you know, because it's structurally unsound. I always think about that stuff. M and K are both female. M had a girlfriend and K had a boyfriend. They have all had issues in the house at one point or another. The gist of it all was that they were hearing things in the house that sound like each other. Kay had an experience while alone in the house where she claimed that she heard her boyfriend coming in through the front door and calling her name. She went down to find nobody there, but she got the feeling that her boyfriend was trying to scare her. So she heard noises coming from a downstairs room and she went in expecting her boyfriend to jump scare her, but found nothing. M and her girlfriend were in bed one night when M heard Kay and her boyfriend fighting. He was really yelling at her and calling her some very profane things. She got out of bed to confront her best friend's boyfriend, but upon investigation, she found Kay asleep in her bedroom. Kay's boyfriend had an experience one night. M had called him from the bathroom to ask if he could go up to her room and grab a bra for her from her dresser. Well, that's kind of cheeky,
isn't it?
Kay's boyfriend was a gentleman about it and went to grab Kay to carry out the task. Kay was insistent that M was at her brother's house, but grabbed the bra and went downstairs to find nobody in the bathroom. I did my usual. Ran my carbon monoxide detector. Nothing. This is a must. I'm not investigating a house without a built-upon I'm not investigating a house with built-upon carbon monoxide. It's fair. I walk the house with my EMF detector. M is also a paranormal investigator. She takes a slightly more spiritual approach to it. The main reason I was there was because she wanted another set of eyes in the house. I got some readings, higher than average. I also prefer to investigate at night. You just get more unfiltered results that way. That's true, because at night you don't have a lot of
ambient noise, extra stuff.
Yeah. Also, as I naturally always question the authenticity of things, I do have a bug detector. I usually don't use this in front of people. I don't want them to take it personally, but I also don't want to get punked. I like that. I never thought about a bug detector. I found no external factors that would lead me to believe that they had tampered with anything to fake the haunting. Did some spirit box sessions with them that night. I got K, M, and Doctor. I'm an optometrist by trade. I took that as a good signal that whatever it was knew enough about me. Now, this was one of the more up-close and personal encounters I'd had. I slept on their pull-out couch. I wasn't asleep. It was about 1 a.m. at the time. I was reading a book on my tablet when I heard the door to their basement open. It was maybe 10 feet from the couch. Really easy to hear. The creaking sounded deafening at that hour. Out of the quiet, I heard a voice saying, "Hey, come here." I still get chills when I think about it. My arm hair is actually standing at attention. I got up and went to look. You read that right. I did that. And to tell you the truth, I would do it again. I'm much more interested in uncovering the truth. All right. Would you have gone and investigated, or would you have not have?
Yeah, I would have.
I'd have been scared as hell. Arms up there and I'm like, flashlight. All right. I stood at the top of the staircase to the basement with my phone's flashlight. As soon as I stepped down into the first step, the door closes behind me. To make it worse, the door locked. I started banging on the door, but eventually I just called M from my phone to come downstairs to open the door. On the other side of the door, I could only hear what I can describe as a cackle-like whisper. I didn't sleep the rest of the night, but I also left the house with the notion that not everything can be explainable. I told M and K that if they wanted me to come back and investigate further, I would. They ended up doing a cleansing, but once that failed to rid the house of the entity, they ended up moving. As of right now, neither of them have reported any paranormal events since leaving. So yeah, that's one of my stories that left me for a loss of an explanation. Hope everyone has had an amazing rest of their week. Stay vigilant, stay observant, be safe out there. Sending everybody so much love and really big hugs. So, I found a lot of houses that have residual energy of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the reasons I think you get this residual energy is because, remember back in the day when someone in your family would move and then they'd have the priest for whatever parish they were in come and bless the house?
Yeah.
People don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
They, they just wander in and out willy-nilly, and sometimes, you have houses that people have died in for sure. But you also have locations that have a psychic imprint of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that energy, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So that energy is there, and sometimes it's intelligent enough.
Right.
It's, too bad that I know that this person had their flashlight going on their phone, but it's too bad that they didn't have anything recording while they were laying there. Because that would have been something to be able to have some kind of either video recording if they knew that they were going to investigate the house, or some kind of audio recording equipment there as well.
Right. I bet he was grateful he didn't have to go back to the house.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I'd have been a little unnerved not so much by hearing the voice. I mean, yeah, a little bit, but having that door close and lock behind me.
Yeah.
And did he say he was in the basement? Yeah, the basement. And here we don't have so many basements.
No. Basements are scary places.
They really are.
They always have been.
When I stayed with Diana and Cinti when I was out in Michigan, they have a basement there, and I had the option to sleep in the kind of rec room that they had downstairs, because they had the couch there was much more comfortable, and it was kind of pull out, so it was more of like a bed couch. Mm-hmm. And I would have been infinitely more comfortable probably sleeping on that, but they have a weird energy downstairs in the latter half of that. And I was like, I think I'll just sleep on the couch in the living room, which was comfortable too. It just wasn't, it was a couch, not like a bed. So right. I think that was the different and comfort level. I don't know. What do you think it could have been?
I don't know. Probably some residual energy, probably some, maybe a poltergeist.
Could be a poltergeist.
They obviously didn't take it with them when they left, so it didn't attach to them.
Yeah, which is good.
Which is strange because of the stories that they were telling. It was very personal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the fact that it's mimicking the other roommate and friends' voices.
Right.
I think it's remarkable that it mimicked them enough to sound to the other gal and the girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Like the second gal and the boyfriend were fighting, and really fighting loudly.
Right.
Normally when I hear about these things, it's you hear stuff in a whisper very quietly.
Right.
Liz will on occasion hear what they think is me calling them. Mm-hmm. And I'll either get a text or I'll hear Liz calling out, "Hey mom, are you calling me?" And I'll either be like, "Yeah, come here," or no. But we, have cautioned the kids that check when you hear a voice that sounds like us. Check that it's us, and don't necessarily just run and do what the voice tells you.
Right.
And for us, if you look back in lore, and I don't know if this is Irish lore, if it's just, early American lore, but we hear, we always used to call it the Tommy knockers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you do research on Tommy knockers, they are the spirits of miners in caves that have died because of cave-ins. Mm-hmm. And usually you either hear them knocking, or when they're calling out to each other, they're trying to get the other miners out because there's going to be a cave-in. Mm-hmm. But we never thought about it like that. We just, whenever we would hear weird voices, it was always, oh, that's just the Tommyknockers. Don't listen to the Tommyknockers.
Right. Well, mimic spirits are a unique vein themselves.
Well, yeah, you get a lot of those in the mountain country, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never actually heard of a mimic inside the house, though.
Well, they could have been there before the tenants moved in.
Yeah, or before it was a house, maybe.
Even then, yeah.
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 Yeah, we have another story a little down the line, I think, that I picked that is about a mimic as well.
Okay.
Gosh, I wish that they'd had another chance to investigate a little bit more.
Yeah.
Before the cleansing, and then maybe another investigation after the cleansing.
Yeah.
Just to see what it could have been.
Well, now you're making me think if I move, I should have my house blessed by a priest.
Well, or do some kind of cleansing. I mean, you could do your own cleansing and a smart ass with your priest. You sure they're going to walk into your den of what is it?
Inequity.
Inequity. Okay, it is inequity. I was like, am I going to pronounce that right? Or am I going to look like a dork? Yeah. They'll walk in and they'll bless themselves and walk out.
That's right.
All right. Our next story comes from the Reddit thread of cryptid encounters. Because we love our cryptids. And this user is Spidey_Mikey16. So they write, here are some details that are necessary for context. I live in Georgia, USA. I'm 5 hours away from the Appalachian. Is that okay? The Appalachian Mountains. I'm a transgender man who came out in March 2020. My mother never knew, and she passed away in January 2020. My family owns about 34 acres of land that has some shallow woods. That's actually, that's a nice parcel of land there.
Yeah, no kidding.
This takes place around October or November of 2020. So that's important to just do this timeline here. The mother passed away in January 2020.
Yeah.
Did not know that their child was coming out. And because they came out 2 months later in March. And now this incident is happening in the fall, early winter of 2020. It was about 9 or 10 p.m., dark. I was sitting on a rocking swing that's in our side yard, close to the front of the trailer. I was on the phone with a friend as it was quarantine and we were talking. I was also severely depressed at this time with suicidal thoughts. I think the pandemic was really, really hard mentally on people.
Yeah. Not me.
Not you. You like, yeah, because you're like, I don't have to people.
I don't have to people.
Yeah.
It was great.
There's a tree right at the back of the trailer, about 60 years old, so it's huge. On the other side of the tree is my bedroom window that my bed is against. Now, while on the phone with my friend, I hear a loud humming coming from where my bedroom window would be, the other side of the tree. It sounded calm and motherly. I was 18 at the time and losing my mom, my only parent. It felt like something I needed, almost luring. My friend joked on the phone that it was a siren. There's not water around, so I chalked it up to being a warm, friendly, motherly spirit who could see that I needed a mother's warmth. Ooh, see, I never think that they're warm and friendly. That's me. That's my bad. Here's where things get weird. After I hung up, I was contemplating stuff. I was stressed and just thinking. The humming stopped. It was quiet for a while. Here's what makes me think it was a cryptid. From the woods in our pasture, I heard my name. My new name, the one I had chosen in September. I had a different name after I came out that wasn't my dead name. For the sake of this, I'll just say my name is Bob. I heard Bob in my dead mother's voice coming from the woods. My mother was a conservative Christian who was actively homophobic and transphobic. No way this was my mom. In fact, it sounded like a copy, like someone had recorded her saying Bob. She never knew me as that, as she passed in January. Now it was late fall. I'd been outside in that area. I've been outside since in that area. Our trampoline is there, and I've heard Bob come from the woods. At night, when I walk from my mom's old workshop to our house, I feel like I'm being intensely watched. If I look back, and I do, and never see anything, my gut tells me to get inside quick. Can I just say, I hate that freaking feeling.
I hate that feeling too.
Oh, that like antsy, like something is just boring into your shoulders.
Yeah.
I hate that feeling.
That's creepy.
Yeah. I'm saying all of this because I've been thinking about skinwalkers recently. However, I'm not on Navajo land. I'm on... All right, I cannot pronounce this, and I did not think to get the pronunciations for me. So,
Salagweti.
Okay, so it's a Cherokee.
Yeah,
it's an East Cherokee tribe. The next one, what is it? Satsuyaha.
That's pretty close.
Yuchi, and Muskoki or What is it?
Muskoki.
Okay, land. Sorry, that was my bad. I completely missed that, and I should have gotten the pronunciations for those. Is this a paranormal thing or a cryptid thing? I just want answers and advice. So when I was looking at the comments there, commenters on this story believe that it may have been a mimic or a Wichuga or a Weichuge.
Yeah.
Which is another, it's something that is similar to the Wendigo.
Yeah.
Which I thought you would know because you were the one when we did the cryptid show that brought up Wendigos.
Right.
Could have been a mimic. I don't feel like it was a skinwalker.
No.
Because I think that there's...
See, I don't think of skinwalkers
as cryptid.
As talking, too.
Oh, yeah. Less that I don't think of them as talking, but I don't think... I mean, I guess they are cryptids, but because of what we talked about last time, we talked about skinwalkers as being a Native American shaman who's basically turned dark side.
Right.
So I kind of...
Dark side.
Dark side?
I had to do it.
Dark side? Did I say that?
Dark side, it's a Star Wars thing.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Dark side.
Oh, okay. I get you.
Like the Emperor.
Yeah. I get it. Sorry, I thought I pronounced it weird and you were making fun of me.
No, I'm making fun of myself more so than that.
It's okay. It's all right. Once you explained it a tiny bit, I got it.
I'm showing how much of a dork I am.
It's okay.
As I sit here in my Empire t-shirt.
Yes, and just so all of you listeners know, Darth Vader is her boyfriend.
My boyfriend.
Yeah, so I don't think that this is a skinwalker. Paranormal thing or a cryptid thing, I mean, you definitely have watchers in the woods.
Right.
That could be doing the mimic voice thing.
Yeah.
Again, could be the Tommyknockers.
That seems like a mimic.
It does seem like a mimic. I just wonder to what end. Are they just trying to make this user more comfortable so that they can eventually lure them into the wood?
That's what I always assume it's got to be.
Right? Yeah. It would be nice if I could assume positive intent. They're just trying to make you feel comforted. No. They were likely trying to eat you.
Well, it doesn't seem like the writer had what one would constitute as an open relationship with their mother.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, that kind of, that definitely sucks. But then you're like, okay, is it a situation where the cryptid or supernatural creature feels like sorry for this person and, let me... Like, you know how sometimes I am with the kids and I'm like, if your mom doesn't accept you... Well, not my kids, but the kids at, like, the bar. Yeah. And I'm like, if your mom doesn't accept you, I'll be your mom.
Right.
Is it something like that? Or is it like, I'm going to lure you into a false sense of comfort so that I can get you over here and eat you. That's my go-to, is that I always think that they're going to eat me.
Right. I would move is my advice.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of a city kid. I don't know that I'm just walking from the workshop to the house to the trailer. In the middle of the night, I don't know that I'd be doing that. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
Daytime, I'd still probably get the heebie-jeebies. Yeah. Just knowing that something's watching me from the woods wouldn't matter what type of day.
Yeah,
they would give me the heebie-jeebies.
I'd have to go.
Yeah. Not Bob, but Bob person. This is yeah. I don't know. The trampoline is there. Are we playing on the trampoline in the middle of the night?
Is the cryptid?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But you know what's funny is, as a kid, I'd be on the trampoline in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Does that mean that I'm just wiser now, or that I've become a chicken shit in my old age? Who knows? Little from column A, little from column B.
They're quite comfortable to lay on.
At the trampolines?
Yeah.
Yeah, until you have motion sickness and somebody's bouncing up and down in them, then they're not comfortable at all. They're very awful. All right, so we think mimic?
Yes, I think it's a mimic.
Okay. And I did look up the witchy is a man-eating creature or evil spirit appearing in the legends of the Athabascan people. In Beaver or Dane's mythology, it is said to be a person who has been possessed or overwhelmed by the power of one of the ancient giant spirit animals, related to becoming too strong. I don't know that I feel like this is someone possessed by them, but I think that it's a man-eating creature.
Yeah, I don't know why I would want to. Oh, Stephen King wiki fandom?
I know. Now I gotta look a little deeper there. Stephen King wiki. Maybe it was in a Stephen King short story.
Maybe.
In Demons and Pet Cemetery. Oh, remember? Did you watch the movie Pet Cemetery?
Yeah.
And they buried the people or the whatever you were trying to bring back on that. It was native land.
Mm-hmm.
But they came back. And that was the thing that they came back as.
Right, okay.
Like when the little boy, they were so happy, and then the little boy turned and tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Little zombie kid, yeah, but you didn't know he was a zombie kid. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. That makes some sense. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Our last story, this is kind of a long one. And this one I found on Creepypasta, which means that it is likely a fictional story. But it was really good and creepy. And I was like, you know what? We're going to throw this one in there and see what we would think it is.
Right on.
If it was a real story. So this says, the title of this is, I'm a long-haul trucker. I stopped for a quote-unquote lost kid on a deserted highway in the dead of night. What I saw attached to him and the question he asked is why I don't drive anymore. So this is user Gaumont Frank in the Reddit Creepypasta. All right. So this happened a few years back. I was doing long haul, mostly cross-country routes, the kind that take you through vast stretches of nothing. You know the ones, where the radio turns to static for hours, and the only sign of life is the occasional pair of headlights going the other way, miles apart. I was young, eager for the miles, the money, didn't mind the solitude. Or so I thought. The route I was on took me across a long, desolate stretch of highway that ran between the borders of two large governmental territories. That's a weird way to say it.
Yeah.
Does it mean states? What?
No.
Like
Area 51.
Ah, okay. I don't want to say exactly where, but think big, empty spaces, lots of trees, and not much else. It was notorious among drivers for being a dead zone. No signal, no towns for 100 miles either side, and prone to weird weather. Most guys tried to hit it during daylight, but schedules are schedules. Mine had me crossing it deep in the night. Ooh. I remember the feeling. I remember the feeling of utter blackness outside the sweep of my headlights. The kind of dark that feels like it's pressing in on the cab. The only sounds were the drone of the diesel engine, the hiss of the air brakes now and then, and the rhythmic thrum of the tires on asphalt. Hypnotic. Too hypnotic. Yeah, I'm going all in this story. I'd been driving for about 10 hours with a short break a few states back. Coffee was wearing off. God, I feel that. The dashboard lights were a dull green glow, comforting in a way, but also making the darkness outside seem even more absolute. My eyelids felt like they had lead weights attached. You fight it, Slap your face, roll down the window for a blast of cold air, crank up whatever music you can find that hasn't dissolved into static. I was doing all of that. Hell, I did that on the way home last night from work.
You do that all the time.
I do. Slapping myself in the face, I do that really a lot. It does not help. It does not help. I don't know what that says about me. But it doesn't keep me awake.
Too much.
Yeah. It must have been around 2 or 3 a.m. I was in that weird state where you're not asleep, but not fully awake either. like your brain is running on low power mode. The white lines on the road were starting to blur together, stretching and warping. Standard fatigue stuff. I remember blinking hard, trying to refocus. That's when I saw it, or thought I saw it. Just a flicker at the edge of my headlights, on the right shoulder of the road. Small. Low to the ground. For a split second, I registered a shape, vaguely human-like, and then it was gone, swallowed by the darkness as I passed. My first thought? Deer. Or coyote, common enough. But it hadn't moved like an animal. It had been upright. My brain, sluggish as it was, tried to process it. Too small for an adult. Too still for an animal startled by a rig. Then the logical part, the part that was trying to keep me safe on the road, chimed in. You're tired. Seeing things. Happens. And I almost accepted that. I really did. Shook my head, took a swig of lukewarm water from the bottle beside me, kept my eyes glued to the road ahead. The image, though, it kind of stuck. A small, upright shape. Like a child. No way, I told myself. Out here, middle of nowhere, middle of the night, impossible. Kids don't just wander around on interterritorial highways at 3 a.m. It had to be a trick of the light, a bush, my eyes playing games. I've seen weirder things bored of exhaustion. Shadows that dance, trees that look like figures. It's part of the job when you're pushing limits. I drove for maybe another 30 seconds, the image fading, my rational mind starting to win. Just a figment. Then I glanced at my passenger side mirror. Habit, always checking. And my blood went cold. Not just cold, it felt like it turned to slush. There, illuminated faintly by the red glow of my trailer lights receding into the distance, was the reflection of a small figure. Standing, on the shoulder of the road. Exactly where I thought I'd seen something. It wasn't a bush. It wasn't a shadow. It was small, and it was definitely standing there, unmoving, as my truck pulled further and further away. My heart started hammering against my ribs. This wasn't fatigue. This was real. There was something back there, and it looked tiny. Every instinct screamed at me. Danger. Wrong. Keep going. But another voice, the one that makes us human, I suppose, whispered something else. A kid? Alone out here? What if they're hurt or lost? I fought with myself for a few seconds that stretched into an eternity. The image in the mirror was getting smaller, fainter. If I didn't act now, they'd be lost to the darkness again. God, the thought of leaving a child out here, if that's what it was. Against my better judgment, against the primal urge to just floor it, I made a decision. I slowed the rig, the air brakes hissing like angry snakes. Pulled over to the shoulder, the truck groaning in protest. Put on my hazards, their rhythmic flashing, cutting into the oppressive blackness. Then, I did what you're never supposed to do with a full trailer on a narrow shoulder. I started to reverse. Slowly. Carefully. My eyes flicking between the mirrors, trying to keep the trailer straight, trying to relocate that tiny figure. The crunch of gravel underneath the tires sounded unnaturally loud. It took a minute, maybe two, but it felt like an hour. The red glow of my taillights eventually washed over that spot again, and there it was, a kid. Would you have stopped? Would you have gone back?
No.
I'm warring between I should want to go back because I'm a mom and it looks like a kid.
Yeah.
But my gut is like, no, bitch, drive away. Drive away. What you saw, no, you didn't.
Yeah,
that would be me.
No chance.
But would I have gone back? Maybe. 80-20 to leave, but that 20% would have nagged at me. I stopped the truck so my cab was roughly alongside them, maybe 10 feet away. Switched on the high beams, hoping to get a better look and also make myself clearly visible as just a truck, not something else. The kid was small. Really small. I'd guess maybe 6-7 years old. Hard to tell in the glare. They were just standing there at the very edge of the gravel shoulder, right where the trees began. The woods pressed in close on this stretch of road, tall, dark pines and dense undergrowth that looked like solid black wall just beyond the reach of my lights. The kid wasn't looking at me. They were facing sort of parallel to the road, just walking. Slowly. Like they were on a stroll, completely oblivious to the massive 18-wheeler that just pulled up beside them, engine rumbling, lights blazing. They were wearing what looked like pajamas. Thin, light-colored pajamas in the chill of the night. No coat, no shoes that I could see. My mind reeled. This was wrong. So many levels of wrong. Absolutely, because you know what? I've seen children in the corn. that kid isn't looking at you like because, you're this giant truck that stopped for them.
Yeah.
I killed the engine. The sudden silence was almost deafening, amplifying the crickets, the rustle of leaves in the woods from a breeze I couldn't feel in the cab. My heart was still thumping, a weird mix of fear and adrenaline and a dawning sense of responsibility. I rolled down the window. The night air hit me, cold, damp, carrying the scent of pine and wet earth. Hey, I called out. My voice sounded hoarse, too loud in the quiet. Hey, kid. No response. They just kept walking, one small bare foot in front of the other at a pace that was taking them absolutely nowhere fast. Their head was down slightly. I couldn't see their face properly. That wouldn't sit right with me either. Kid, are you okay? I tried again, louder this time. Slowly, so slowly, the kids stopped. They didn't turn their head fully, just sort of angled it a fraction, enough that I could see a pale sliver of cheek in the spill of my headlights. Still not looking at me, still ignoring the multi-ton machine idling beside them. A prickle of unease ran down my spine. Not the normal kind of unease. This was deeper, colder. Animals act weird sometimes, but kids? A lost kid should be scared, relieved, something. This one was nothing. What are you doing out here all alone? I asked, trying to keep my voice calm, friendly, like you're supposed to do with a scared kid, even though this one didn't seem scared at all. It's the middle of the night. Silence, just the sound of their bare feet scuffling softly on the gravel as they took another step, then another. As if my presence was a minor inconvenience, a background noise that they were choosing to ignore. This wasn't right. My internal alarm bells were clanging louder now. My hand hovered near the gear stick. Part of me wanted to slam it into drive and get the hell out of here, but the image of this tiny child alone, possibly in shock, I just couldn't leave. Could I? Hell yes, you can.
Yep.
Hell yes, you can. Where are your parents? I pushed, my voice a bit sharper than I intended. Are you lost? Finally, the kids stopped walking completely. They turned their head just a little more. Still not looking directly at my cab, more towards the front of the truck into the glare of the headlights. I could see their face a bit better now. Pale, featureless in the harsh light like a porcelain doll. Small, dark smudges that might have been eyes. No expression. None. Not fear, not sadness, not relief. Just blank. An unreadable state. Now, at this point that I'm reading this story, I'm thinking the black-eyed kids. I was like, is it one of those? Okay. Then a voice. Small. Thin, like the rustle of dried leaves. Lost. Just that one word had hung in the air between us. Relief washed over me, quickly followed by a fresh wave of concern. Okay, lost. That's something I can deal with. Okay, kid, lost is okay. We can fix lost. Where do you live? Where were you going? The kid finally slowly turned their head fully towards my cab. Towards me. I still couldn't make out much detail in their face. The angle, the light, something was obscuring it, keeping it in a sort of shadowy vagueness despite the headlights. But I could feel their gaze. It wasn't a normal kid's look. There was a weight to it, an intensity that was deeply unsettling for such a small form. Home, the kid said in that same thin, reedy voice, trying to get home. Right, home. Where is home? I asked, leaning forward a bit, trying to project reassurance. Is it near here? Did you wander off from a campsite? A car? There were no campsites for miles. No broken down cars on the road. I knew that. The kid didn't answer the question directly. Instead, they took a small step toward the truck, then another. My hand tensed on the door handle, ready to open it. To offer what? A ride? Shelter? I didn't know. It's cold out here, I said, stating the obvious. You should get in. We can get you warm, and I can call for help when we get to a spot with a signal. My CB was useless, just static. My phone had shown no service for the last hour. The kid stopped about 5 feet from my passenger door, still in that pale, thin pajama-like outfit. Barefoot on the sharp gravel. They should be shivering, crying. They were doing neither. Can you help me? The kid asked. The voice was still small, but there was a different inflection to it now. less flat. A hint of something else. Pleading, maybe? Yeah, of course I can help you, I said. That's why I stopped. Where are your parents? How did you get here? The kid tilted their head, a jerky, unnatural little movement. They're waiting. At home. Okay, where's home? Which direction? I gestured vaguely up and down the empty highway. The kid didn't point down the road. They made a small, subtle gesture with their head, a little nod toward the trees, toward the impenetrable darkness of woods lining the highway.
I'm out.
Right?
I'm out.
Right?
I'm out.
In there, the kid said. My stomach clenched. In the woods? Your home is in the woods? Lost, the kid repeated, as if that explained everything. Trying to find the path. It's dark. I'm like, if you could see to get this far, you can't see in the dark now?
Well, not after the headlights have been in his eyes.
It was already looking for it. Yeah, it's very dark, I agreed, my eyes scanning the tree line. It looked like a solid wall of black. No sign of any path, any habitation, just dense, old-growth forest. The kind of place you could get lost in for days, even daylight. Can you come out? The kid asked. Help me look. It's not far. I can't see it from here. See, now in my brain, everything is going, are there people in the woods waiting to kill me? Like, this kid is the lure. I'm going to get out of the car and they're going to kill me and eat me. That's my thought all the time. They're just going to eat me.
The hills have eyes.
Right? Every rational thought in my head screamed, no. Get out of the truck in the middle of nowhere in the pitch dark with this strange child who wanted me to go in those woods? No, absolutely not. But the kid looked so small, so vulnerable. If there was even a tiny chance they were telling the truth, that their home was just a little way in and they were genuinely lost, you're dumb. You're dumb, dude. I don't think it's a good idea, buddy, I said, trying to sound gentle. It's dangerous in there at night, for both of us. Best thing is for you to hop in here with me. We'll drive until we get a signal, and then we'll call the police or the rangers. They can help find your home properly. The kid just stood there, that blank, unreadable face fixed on me. But it's right there, they insisted, their voice a little more insistent now. Just a little way. I can almost see it. If you just step out, the light from your door will help. My skin was crawling. This was profoundly wrong. There was something profoundly wrong with this scenario. The way they were trying to coax me out. The lack of normal emotional response. The pajamas. The bare feet. The woods. Listen to your instinct, trucker. I looked closer at the kid, trying to pierce that strange vagueness around their features. My headlights were bright, but it was like they absorbed the light rather than reflecting it. Their eyes, I still couldn't really see their eyes, just dark hollows. I really think you should get in the truck, I said, my voice firmer now. It's warmer in here. We can figure it out together. The kid took another step closer. They were almost at my running boards now. Please, they said, that reedy voice again. My leg hurts. I can't walk much further. If you could just help me a little. Just to the path. Your leg hurts, but you can step closer to the damn truck? My internal conflict was raging. My trucker instincts, honed by years of seeing weird stuff and hearing weirder stories at truck stops, were blaring warnings. But the human part, the part that saw a child in distress, was still there, still arguing. Lock that part up in the closet.
Yeah, that part's not serving you well.
Yeah, I was tired. So damn tired. Maybe I wasn't thinking straight. Maybe this was all some bizarre misunderstanding. I squinted, trying to see past the kid toward the tree line they'd indicated. Was there a faint trail I was missing? A flicker of light deep in the woods? No. Nothing. Just blackness. Solid, unyielding blackness. And then I saw it. It wasn't something I saw clearly at first. It was more like an anomaly, a disturbance in the darkness behind the kid. The kid was standing with their back mostly to the woods, facing my truck. Behind them, the darkness of the forest was absolute, or it should have been. But there was something connected to them, something that stretched from the small of their back, from under the thin pajama top and disappeared into the deeper shadows of the trees. At first I thought it was a trick of the light, a weird shadow cast by my headlights hitting them at an odd angle. Maybe a rope they were dragging? A piece of clothing snagged on a branch? What kind of clothing? You think it was their coat? I leaned forward, trying to get a clearer view. The kid was still talking, their voice a low, persistent murmur. It's not far. Please, just help me. I'm so cold. But I wasn't really listening to the words anymore. I was focused on that thing behind them. It wasn't a rope. It wasn't a shadow. It was a tube. A long, dark, thick tube. It seemed to emerge directly from the kid's lower back, impossibly seamlessly. It was dark matter, like a strip of the night itself given form, and it snaked away from the child, maybe 10, 15 feet, before disappearing into the inky blackness between two thick pine trunks. It wasn't rigid. It seemed to have a slight, almost imperceptible flexibility, like a massive, sluggish umbilical cord made of shadow. It didn't reflect any light from my headlamps. It just absorbed it. My breath hitched in my throat. My blood, which had been cold before, now felt like it had frozen solid. This wasn't just wrong. This was impossible. Unnatural. The kid was still trying to coax me. Are you going to help me? It's just there. You're so close. My voice, when I finally found it, was barely a whisper. I couldn't take my eyes off of that appendage. Kid, what is that behind you? The kid flinched. Not a big movement, just a tiny, almost imperceptible tightening of their small frame. Their head, which had been tilted pleadingly, straightened. The darkness on their face seemed to solidify. What's what? They asked, their voice suddenly devoid of that pleading tone. It was flat again. Colder. That thing, I stammered, pointing with a shaking finger. Coming out of your back, going into the woods. What is that? The kid didn't turn to look. They didn't need to. Their gaze, those dark, unseen eyes, bored into me. It's nothing, they said. The voice was still small but had a new edge to it, a hardness. You're seeing things. You're tired. Mm-mm. They were using my own earlier rationalization against me. No, I said, my voice gaining a tremor of conviction born of sheer terror. No, I'm not. I see it. It's right there. It's connected to you. The kid was silent for a long moment. The only sound was the thumping of my own heart, so loud I was sure they could hear it. The crickets had stopped. The wind seemed to die down. An unnatural stillness fell over the scene. Then the kid's face began to change. It wasn't a dramatic movie monster transformation. It was far more subtle and far more terrifying. The blankness didn't leave, but it sharpened. The pale skin seemed to tighten over the bones. The area where those eyes were, those dark smudges, seemed to deepen, to become more shadowed, more intense. A flicker of something ancient and utterly alien passed through their features. It wasn't human anger. It was something older, colder, and infinitely more patient, now strained to its limit. The air in my cabin suddenly felt thick, heavy, hard to breathe. Just come out of the truck, the kid said, and the voice, oh God, the voice. It wasn't the small, reedy voice of a child anymore. It was deeper, resonant, with a strange, grating undertone like stones grinding together. It was coming from that small frame, but it was impossibly large, impossibly old. It vibrated in my chest. Come out. Now. The command was absolute. My hand, which had been hovering near the gear stick, now gripped it like a lifeline. My other hand fumbled for the ignition key, which I'd stupidly left in. What are you? I choked out, staring at the monstrous thing playing dress-up in a child's form, at the dark, pulsating tube that was its anchor in the shadows. The kid's head tilted again, that jerky, unnatural movement. The expression on his face, if you could call it that, was one of pure, unadulterated annoyance, contempt, like I was a particularly stupid insect that it had failed to swat. And then it spoke in that same terrible, resonant, grinding voice. The words it said are burned into my memory, colder than any winter night. Why? It rasped, the sound seeming to scrape the inside of my skull. The fuck are humans smarter now? That was it. That one sentence. The sheer cosmic frustration to it. The implications of past encounters of easier prey. The utter alien nature of it. I didn't think. I didn't plan. I reacted. Primal fear, the kind that bypasses all higher brain function, took over. My hand twisted the key. The diesel engine roared to life. A sudden, violent explosion of sound in the horrifying stillness. The kid, the thing, actually recoiled, a small, jerky step back. The expression, that awful, tightened, ancient look, intensified. I slammed the gear stick into drive. My foot stomped on the accelerator. The truck lurched forward, tires spinning on the gravel for a terrifying second before they bit into the asphalt. I didn't look at it. I couldn't. I stared straight ahead, my knuckles white on the steering wheel, the whole cab vibrating around me. The truck surged forward, gaining speed with agonizing slowness. For a horrible moment, I imagined that tube thing whipping out, trying to snag the trailer, to pull me back, to drag me into those woods. I imagined that small figure with its ancient, terrible voice somehow keeping pace. I risked a glance in my driver's side mirror. It was standing there, on the shoulder, unmoving. The lights of my departing truck cast its small silhouette into sharp relief. And behind it, the dark tube was still visible, a thick, obscene cord snaking back into the endless night of the forest. It didn't seem to be retracting or moving. It just was. The thing didn't pursue. It just stood and watched me go. And that, somehow, was almost worse. The sheer confidence. The patience. Like it knew there would be others. Or maybe it was just annoyed that this particular attempt had failed. I drove. I don't know for how long. I just drove. My foot was welded to the floor. The engine screamed. I watched the speedometer needle climb far past any legal or safe limit for a rig that size on a road that dark. I didn't care. The image of that thing, that child shape with its dark umbilical to the woods, and that voice, that awful grinding voice asking its horrifying question, was burned into the inside of my eyelids. I must have driven for an hour, maybe more, at speeds that should have gotten me killed or arrested before the adrenaline started to fade, replaced by a bone-deep, shaking exhaustion that was more profound than any fatigue I had ever known. Pardon me. My hands were trembling so violently I could barely keep the wheel straight. Tears were streaming down my face, not from sadness, but from sheer, unadulterated terror and relief. When the first hint of dawn had started to gray the eastern sky and my phone finally beeped, indicating a single bar of service, I pulled over at the first wide spot I could find. I practically fell out of the cab, vomiting onto the gravel until there was nothing left but dry heaves. I sat there on the cold ground shaking for a long time, watching the sun come up, trying to convince myself that it had been a dream, a hallucination brought on by exhaustion. But I knew it wasn't. The detail of that tube, the voice, the question. You don't hallucinate something that specific, that coherent, that utterly alien. I never reported it. Who would I report it to? What would I say? Officer, I saw a little kid who was actually an ancient cosmic horror tethered to the woods by a nightmare umbilical cord, and it got mad because I didn't want to be its dinner. They'd have locked me up, breathalyzed me, drug tested me, sent me for a psych eval. I finished that run on autopilot, dropped the load, drove my rig back to the yard, and I quit. I told them I was burned out, needed a break. They tried to convince me to stay, offered me different routes, more pay. I just couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that kid, that tube, those woods. Every dark road felt like a trap. I found a local job, something that keeps me home at night. I don't drive in remote areas anymore if I can help it, especially not at night. I still have nightmares. Sometimes when I'm very tired driving home late from somewhere, I'll see a flicker at the edge of my vision on the side of the road, and my heart will try to beat its way out of my chest. I don't know what that thing was. An alien? A demon? Something else? Something that doesn't fit into our neat little categories? All I know is that it's out there. And it's patient. And it seems to have learned that its old tricks aren't effective as they used to be. Why the fuck are humans smarter now? That question haunts me. It implies that we weren't always. It implies that once upon a time, we were easier. That maybe, just maybe, people like me, tired and alone on dark roads, used to just step out of the cab when asked, and were never seen again. So if you're ever driving on one of those long, lonely stretches of road, deep in the night, and you see something you just can't explain, maybe keep driving. And maybe being smarter now means knowing when not to stop. Knowing when to ignore that little voice telling you to help, because what's asking for help might not be what it seems. Stay safe out there, and for God's sake, stay on well-lit roads. So, this could be a totally fake story, but it was so well written.
It's well written.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk about it. I think it was some kind of fae.
Yeah.
If this is a real story, I would lay money on some kind of fae.
I think because of the two government territories, that it was probably some experiment gone wacky
Terribly
or some
wrong.
alien.
I don't know, that tube just coming back. I mean, it could have been, like, right? That could have been a tube back to the facility. But I just wonder, I feel like because of the elements of it seems to be bending reality and making things extra dark, it feels fae to me.
I think that the tube is not to discount what you're saying. The tube is to a bigger entity.
Oh, I'm sure. That's like the little puppet it puts out.
Yeah.
Help me, help me.
Yeah.
I need your help. Just come back with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and roam. There are undersea creatures that do that, right?
Yes.
They have the little things that come out, and the fish come over to bite it. What is it? Is it anglerfish?
Yeah.
Yeah. The fish come to get it, and then the bigger fish eats the little fish.
Yeah, it's the light that it has dangling from.
It's the nightmare version of the anglerfish.
Yes. It's the human version.
Yeah. But I love that question, though. Why the fuck are humans smarter now?
I don't know that that's true.
It's not true. Somebody else probably would have stopped. I mean, this person obviously had some kind of self-preservation.
Stopped.
I know, but they didn't get out of the cab. But I'm like, everything in your body is telling you something. And this, I think, is the problem now with people, is that we don't listen to what the world has screaming at us all the time.
Right.
You know, what's my thing? I always go with my gut.
Yeah.
And I guess when I say going with your gut, I guess that could be your spiritual gifts. But honestly, like, I've always, before I was any kind of spirit worker, when I was just a regular practitioner, I would always say, listen to your gut. Your gut is never going to steer you wrong.
Right.
Because, that is the part of us that goes back to, it goes back to when we were primal.
Right.
And we didn't have the news telling us that something was dangerous. We didn't have a weather app. We didn't have apps that could tell you if an earthquake is coming.
Right.
We had to listen to our bodies and the world around us. Danger. Like, their entire body was screaming, "Danger, Will Robinson."
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm just gonna see if this kid's okay. I just feel really bad because it's a kid. Let me tell you, if that kid is living out in the woods, they're more aware of what's out there than if, let's say, it was a real kid.
Right.
They weren't lost.
Yeah.
Were it not for that too, I'd be thinking, yeah, it's this kid and all its little crazy kid friends are like, let's play carve up the trucker. Still, yeah, that tube thing was kind of gnarly.
Yes, the absence of light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a minute there, I was thinking it was one of the black-eyed kids, because you couldn't see the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one. I liked that one.
It was spooky.
It was. I like spooky stories.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that point you were like, I'm noping out.
Yep, I'm done.
All right, the last thing that we're going to talk about today or the last story that we're going to talk about. We might throw some more urban legends out afterwards. We'll see. But the last story that we're going to talk about was submitted by a listener. So our good friend, Mr. Black, who wrote and recorded our theme song.
Thank you, Mr. Black.
Yes. He suggested this game to me because I had mentioned that we were going to talk about Reddit stories and we were going to talk about urban legends. And he had asked me if I had ever heard of this particular game. It's called the Midnight Game, and I had never heard it. So the Midnight Game is an urban legend and ritual game often associated with pagan folklore, even though there's no solid evidence that it comes from any ancient practice. It is more likely a modern creation with roots in creepypasta and internet horror culture. That said, it's gained popularity due to its eerie atmosphere and psychological horror events. So I did actually try to research this and see if I could come up with any pagan roots at all. Mm-hmm. I could not find it. From what I've definitely seen, it might be a creepypasta story. There was a movie. There was a movie that came out in 2013, a supernatural thriller. So it is based on the creepypasta of the same name. This is what I pulled up, and I'm sharing what Mr. Black actually had shared with me via chat. So everything that I have here is what's been shared with me. Disclaimer. The Midnight Game is considered a psychological challenge or urban legend ritual. It can cause anxiety, paranoia, and fear, especially in dark or isolated environments. It is not recommended for people who are sensitive to such things or prone to mental distress. While it's not real in any supernatural sense, the mental effects can be very real. And I have a theory about this because right before Lauren and I started recording, we were researching this and we were looking it up on Reddit. And there are a lot of people that have posted that they have done this and had very real experiences with it. Mm-hmm. Again, I personally do not believe that it has any roots in pagan folklore. Despite what the legend that we're going to go into says. Are you okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. But again, I could be wrong. I only went so far down the rabbit hole, but everything I've seen leads me to believe that this is a created urban legend.
Yeah.
I mean, which they all are created, but
right.
A more recent modern creation. Okay. The Midnight Game. Purpose. The purpose of the Midnight Game is to summon the Midnight Man, a malevolent spirit, and survive his presence from 12 a.m. to 3:33 a.m. without getting caught. The legend says that it's a punishment ritual for breaking pagan codes or entering forbidden areas of worship. So that's what I really tried to research and see if there was something that I could find even remotely similar. Mm-hmm. But, I didn't find anything on the internet, but we also know that a lot of pagan culture, ancient pagan culture, wasn't written. It only went through from word of mouth.
Right.
So it could, if this is truly based on something like that, it could have been just information that got lost. Mm-hmm. Okay. What you need: a piece of paper, a pen or pencil, a needle or pin, a candle, a lighter or matches, salt, a wooden door. I'm just wondering if any door will do.
Yeah.
Does it have to be wooden? What if all you have are sliding glass doors in your house? I don't know.
Does it have to be attached to the house, or can you just wander around with the wooden door?
You're funny. Let's just put this out there. If you find a door in the middle of the woods, don't do it with that. Run away. Do not go through the door. A clock or a watch. Do not use your phone. All lights must be off. These are always done in the dark.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Since you noted that this is not a written down culture, why is the first thing paper and a pencil?
Well, we're going to find out because we're going to go through this.
But I'm saying.
You're a dumbass. I meant that I did not find it on the internet in any pagan lore that is on the internet. But if it was something that was passed down word of mouth, as many traditions were.
Well, if they had a paper and a pen, then they would have written it down, right?
Get the fuck out of here. Moving on.
Logic.
How to play the midnight game. Step 1, write your name. Write your full name, first, middle, and last on a piece of paper. Step 2, add your blood. Prick your finger with the pin and needle and place a drop of blood on your name. Let it soak into the paper. All right, right here I'm out. I'm not giving anybody my blood.
No, why I gotta get bloody?
Well, and that's my thing. You're entering a pact with something right there. Yeah, no. I only, and 9 times out of 10, it probably wouldn't, even if I pricked my finger, it probably wouldn't bleed. Because I only bleed when I have to. You laugh, but when I have sliced my hand open and no blood comes out. It's very weird. I'm like, okay, I guess I didn't need it for this. I've had to poke my finger with that, the diabetic, when you put your finger on the strip or your blood on the strip and do it. Mm-hmm. I've tried to poke my finger like 4 times. I'll tell you, that's not fun. Let's see. Okay, so you're letting your blood soak into the paper. Step 3, turn off the lights. Turn all the lights off. Turn off all the lights in your house or the location that you're playing in.
Aha! The paper, the blood, so they would have written it down with the blood?
No, you write down your name. This is you entering into the pact with whatever you're summoning. Turn off all the lights in your house or the location you're playing in. Okay, so you should probably make sure it's a location that you know very well if you have to be in the dark.
Right.
Step 4, place the paper. Put the paper with your name on it and blood in front of a wooden door. I still wonder why it has to be wooden. Step 5, light the candle. Light your candle and place it on top of the paper. Step 6, knock. At exactly 12 a.m., knock on the door 22 times. The 22nd knock must be at exactly 12 a.m. Okay, see, so then they should say, shortly before 12 a.m., knock 22 times and make sure the 22nd knock is exactly at 2 a.m.
12 a.m.
12 a.m. How are you going to do that? Step 7, open the door. After knocking, open the door, blow out your candle, then close the door. This is believed to invite the midnight man into your home. See, I'm not inviting anybody into my home that I don't know. Step 8, relight the candle. Immediately relight your candle. The game has now begun. What if your candle does... Oh, that was a car. What if the candle doesn't relight? Then you're just automatically... See, I see a horror movie in my head where it's not relighting. And then, when you've relit the candle, there's somebody standing right behind you. That's what's going on in my brain, yeah. Mm-hmm. The rules of survival. Keep your candle lit at all times. If it goes out, you must relight it within 10 seconds. If you can't relight it in time, create a salt circle around yourself and stay inside until 3:33 a.m. So the 3:33 being the witching hour, that's when, stuff is safe. I get that. Do not leave the house. Do not turn on any lights. Do not fall asleep. Do not use a flashlight or electronic devices. Do not provoke the midnight man. Signs of his presence. Sudden drops in temperature. A figure in the corner of your eye. Whispering. The candle flickering or going out without reason. If any of these happens, run. Ending the game. The game ends exactly at 3:33 a.m. If you survive without being caught, the midnight man leaves and the ritual is complete. Consequences, according to the legend. If the midnight man catches you, you'll experience hallucinations of your worst fears. You may be physically harmed. Some versions say you may lose your mind or worse, never be seen again. So just looking at that, I have questions. What happens if I turn on the lights?
Yeah.
Is he going to be standing there like Candyman?
Maybe.
I'm not trying to poke fun at this, but what my thoughts, so I said I had a theory about this. Mm-hmm. I think that so many people have played this and put energy into it.
Yeah. That
they could have created some kind of, what's the word? Not egregore, not servitor, but a, tulpa.
Okie doke.
Tulpas are entities that are created through energy. Like, so many people have focused their energy into believing that something is true, that it actually becomes true.
Collective.
Yeah, the collective thoughts of human people.
Right.
I'm wondering if this could be something that if people are getting physically harmed and disappearing, I'm wondering if that could be the manifestation of what people are believing is going to happen. Mm-hmm. For psychological things, I get it. You're sitting in the dark, your candle goes out, you're freaking yourself out, and the mind can do some pretty intense things.
It'd be a good opportunity to bolt from your life and never come back.
If you wanted to do that, I don't know that my problems are that intense that I need to do that, but then you wonder, where do you go? Does it eat you? Since seems to be our theme of the evening, things are trying to eat you. And if any of these happen, run. What if you're in an apartment? What if you live in a studio? There's only so many places you can run.
What if you're on a cliff?
If you're on a cliff, you're not outside when you're doing it. You're supposed to be doing it inside.
Indoors with a door.
You're not supposed to go outside.
I'd be terrible at this game.
You would, because you'd be laughing all the time. You'd find you.
I know.
We'd have to put you in a salt circle. I think we might just start with you in a salt circle.
I was going to say, I should just start in a salt circle. I can stay up till 3:33 a.m. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not me. I'd nod off and then I'd be dead.
You just give me some things to play with in the salt circle and I'm fine.
I know. Like, well, you can't turn on the TV though. No electronic devices. And don't provoke the midnight man. I wonder if us kind of being jokey about this is provoking.
Maybe.
We'll know if we both go crazy in the middle of the night. We'll know that we did not invoke. Guess what? You didn't get any of my blood. That would have stopped me cold right there.
Yeah.
I'm not giving anything my blood.
Yeah.
As it is,
That's too much of an offering.
Yeah. What do I say about the tooth fairy? Let's please not normalize selling our body parts to the fae. Yeah, I really feel like this is some kind of tulpa or egregore going on here. Mm-hmm. Just all that energy and that belief that goes into creating this entity. Because there are a lot of Reddit stories here. Let's see. What is this? The Midnight Society. So I played the Midnight Game. This was 13 years ago, so this has been going on for quite a long time. So I heard about the Midnight Game or the Midnight Man game, and it looked interesting, so I decided to try it. I didn't want to do it alone, so I texted 2 of my friends and gave them a link to the website that gives them a description of the game and the rules. They didn't want to try it, so I thought about it and thought, hell, I used to live in a haunted apartment. Fuck it, I'll do it alone. That also seems like a bad idea. Did it get darker in here? Oh, it's because it's the
screen.
It's the screen. I just looked around and I was like, this is not okay. I live in a 2-bedroom house, which isn't big, so it's going to be a scary ride. I set up my alarm for 3:34.
I don't get an adult doing this. This is teenager stuff.
This is teenager stuff. Let's see. A minute after 3:33, just in case. I don't want to piss off the demon thing and place it face down on it since it's digital. I shut off everything else in the fuse box except my room for the alarm. Shut the blinds and the ride begins. Why would you shut off everything in the fuse box? Why wouldn't you just turn on the lights? Because now you got to find the fuse box in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, this is something you do at a sleepover.
Yeah.
The rest of her friends were like, no, we're adults.
Yeah. Right? So, okay, it's May 3rd, Thursday at 11. Oh, it's almost, 13 years ago. Wow. That's some weird synchronicity, huh? I begin writing my name on the piece of paper with the candle lit. I thought you were supposed to light the candle afterwards.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. 11:59 p.m. I poke my finger and drop a drop of blood on the paper. I have my eye on my iPhone and begin knocking 15 seconds before midnight. At the 22nd knock, 12 a.m., I got it, open the door, blow out my candle and close it, and relight my candle. I have my salt and lighter ready, and the ride begins. Okay, 15 seconds. What? Are you looking at this?
She said the ride begins twice.
Oh, yeah. It was dark, pitch black. I was nervous like fuck, kept my eye on my candle, ready to grab my lighter. I just kept walking around in the hallway to my living room, my room, the kitchen. It was boring. I felt if I didn't do it right, I just kept wandering around and said, fuck it. It left like hours already, so I went to turn on the kitchen light. But it didn't turn on since I'd turned off all the power earlier. I held up my candles to the clock in the kitchen and it was only 12:50 a.m. Suddenly my candle went off. I freaked the fuck out and lit up the candle as fast as I could and speed walked to the living room. I was thinking that I probably blew it out with my nose or something, but then I heard some whispering behind me. I couldn't make out what it was saying and it wasn't pleasant. I just kept walking to my room. From that, I figured out that I did it right. Then I went into my room and it was cold. Cold enough that I can see my breath. And again, my candle went out. I can't see shit. I feel goosebumps. And I can't find my fucking lighter. Well, obviously they found it because they're writing this. 5 seconds pass by and I remember that it's in my ass pocket and light up the fucking candle thinking it's too late. I'm still conscious and leave the room gasping. My heart's pounding so hard that it looks like I drank a case of Red Bull. Then I realized I wasn't even thinking about the salt. Yeah, I'm fucked, I thought. Now I'm ready. Really scared. Oh, now I'm really, really scared. In the hallway, I look back at my room and I see the dark figure standing in the doorway. It was staring at me and I was fucking paralyzed. The candle was still lit and yeah, you guessed it. It went out. I speed walked to the living room in the dark, reaching for the lighter and light it up again. Now I tell you, I've never been more scared in my life. I was actually shaking. In my living room, it was warm again. The relief. Oh, the relief. But it's not over. Time passes and not much has happened. I walk to the kitchen, wanting to check the time on the clock, and I see the man again, sitting in the dining room table with its legs crossed. The candle goes out yet again. I light it up and he's gone. By now, I was fucking regretting this shit. I want it to be over already. I'm scared for my life right now, and I'm just waiting for that alarm to go off. I kept walking and want to check that time. I check and it's still 12:50. There are exclamation points and question marks here. And this is where shit gets real. I grab my clock from the wall to check if the battery is there, and it is. I'm wondering if the battery died. With my lit candle in my left hand and my clock in my right, the candle goes off. I panic, set the clock on the table, but drop the fucking candle and it rolls away from me. Well, I'm fucking fucked. Boy, they're potty mouth.
Really?
I grab the salt from my left pocket and pour the whole shit around me, making the best circle you can imagine. I have lost, and I'm hoping this sodium chloride will protect me from getting hallucinations, death, fucking whatever. I'm sorry. Oh, it was just the sodium chloride thing. I'm sitting in the kitchen with the salty circle waiting for the alarm to go off. I'm scared to check my phone since it's going to give light and I don't want to risk anything. Still sitting in the pitch black kitchen, the kitchen window is slightly open with some wind kicking in. The blinds from the backyard window door start swinging, allowing some light from the street lights, and what I see made me nearly piss myself a pool. All right. In front of me was the Midnight Man, just staring at me. He was 6-ish feet tall, kind of see-through, and was completely still like a statue. This salt was a barrier because he didn't get any closer. He was at least 4 feet away from me. I just kept thinking of that sea bear episode of SpongeBob to keep myself calm because I was about to lose it. Ha ha ha, dirt circle. Ha ha ha, keeping me away from fucking bears. Ha ha, stupid Squidward can't draw a simple circle. Ha ha ha. That's so weird. Time began passing until finally beep, 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 my alarm, but I was still scared to move, so I let it ring for a little bit. I waited for the wind to come through again because I can't see shit. I run to the windows and open the blinds for light. He's gone. The relief was indescribable, I tell you. I turn on the power and turn on all the lights. I grab the clock and mount it back on the wall, only to realize it's working again, and the time is correct. I grab my sleeping bag and sleep the rest of the night in my car. And now I begin to wonder, what if I didn't turn off the power? I turned on the kitchen light thinking the ritual didn't work, and if it turned on, I broke the rule. If I broke the rule, what could have happened? Well, I'm fucking never doing that again, and I fucking hope he never comes back. If you ever think about doing it, I recommend you go to a strip club instead.
I figured it was a guy.
Right?
Don't do this alone is my first recommendation. My second recommendation is get reliable candles.
Yeah.
Get the ones with the glass. Get a glass candle.
Oh, well, so someone says, so for people who play the midnight game with friends, I will strongly caution you. The Midnight Man will not kill you. But it does not mean that if one of your friends gets caught, it won't make one of them kill you. And your friends can cross that salt barrier. Just saying. Damn, that was real. I just read this and the power went out in my house. It's 3:52 p.m., but it was still scary. Dummy.
It's still daylight.
Yeah. This makes you want to play so much just for the adrenaline.
No, it doesn't.
Somebody else writes, halfway through the game when you unfortunately have to pour salt around yourself and you hear your friend yell, "Ha, that's not salted sugar." This is, someone says, I've never done any of these things. This, Bloody Mary, what have you. Not because I believe something will happen, but because I don't want to chance it with something that has a chance of killing me or making me crazy or something like that. It's the same principle why I don't do drugs. I can eat this pill and it could make me high and I could have a marvelous time, or it could kill me. Those aren't good enough odds to me regardless of how slim they are. I just really, these are, they're getting chills. See, I didn't get chills from this one. I got chills from the last one.
Yeah.
This was by far the scariest story I've read on here because the fact that it's in your own damn house is what I call scary. Good job scaring me, man. Upvote for you. I mean, I'd never play this game just, again, because of the whole blood factor.
Yeah.
But there are people that have played it and they, they've experienced things.
Well, it's like playing Ouija.
Yeah. Well, I recommend for people, don't play with a spirit board unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that is probably the only thing that I would recommend, that you should absolutely do a protection circle for. Yeah. I don't do rituals and do the protection circle and the whole call the quarters and all of that. That's not my bag. But for people that are new and maybe don't really feel comfortable with all the trappings of ritual, I would definitely say that is the one thing that my recommendation is, yes, put up a protective circle anytime you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just because you don't know what doors you can open up.
Sure.
And, for the people out there that are like, oh, well, the Ouija board, there's a Parker Brothers version. It's just a game. Da, da, da. It is just a game. It is just a board.
Yeah.
Or a piece of paper or whatever you use to make it. However, your belief in your intention can make things possible.
Sure.
Just like this. These people have believed in this.
Right.
And this particular person that we just read their story, something was there.
Right. The collective manifestation.
Exactly. Whether it was that they believed it enough that it opened up a door for something to come through, I don't know.
Right.
I think people really forget the power of the mind. We don't harness the entire power of our mind ever.
Right.
Even geniuses are not harnessing the entire power of your mind.
Right.
So just that simple belief that you have can really affect things. I don't we you hear stories about, since we were talking about the Ouija board, we were talking different stories of people that have opened that door and left it open because they haven't closed it properly. Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. Because most teenagers in America have probably at some point played with a spirit board.
Yeah. Not
my kids, because I'm like, don't do that.
Right.
Doesn't mean they never will. But most teenagers, I know we played with a board. Right. I actually have a spirit board story from when I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. So I had two friends, Kara and Angela, and it was when I was in middle school, and the three of us were really a tight little group. Angela's dad was a practitioner. Mm-hmm. And that was in her family bloodline. And I'd gone, and her parents were divorced. And I remember when she was at her dad's house, and I'd come over, you could go up to the roof and sit on the roof and look around the city. Mm-hmm. And when we were at her mom's, it was a nice little, her mom had a nice little apartment too. But I remember being at the Cortland apartment with her. And it was her and Kara, and we were all having a sleepover, and they wanted to do a spirit board. And I was like, they were like, come do the spirit board with us. And I was like, nope, I'm cool. I'm sitting on the chair over here. I am good. I will watch you guys. And so they start talking to someone on the spirit board. And it is a spirit that apparently they have spoken to before. And they're like, okay, you know, spirit, I'm not saying the name, spirit, who is here with us? So I went to A for Angela, C for Kara, and then it went to the letter Y. And we're like, why? And they're looking at me like, there's not a Y in your name. And they're like, spell this out. And it spelled out yuck. So apparently, whatever it was, did not like me. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, you guys are funny. You know, thinking my friends are pulling a fast one on me. So I was like, okay, well, let's give you a question that, that no one knows the answer to. Well, they didn't know the answer to. And I said, what's my real dad's last name? And it started spelling out a specific last name. Mm. And they're looking at each other. What are you spelling? That's not her dad's last name. Well, what they didn't realize, what they didn't know was that the week prior, I had a conversation with my mom. And she had told me that the person I thought was my dad wasn't actually my dad. Right. It was another person. And the last name that they spelled out was the last name of the person my mother had told me about. Mm-hmm. Which no one could have known because I didn't share that with anyone. So it was kind of a trippy thing. Yeah. And I remember Angela's mom had come in and she's like, oh, it's cold in here. You know, she's standing by the bed. The temperature around the bed where they were doing the spirit board was about 10 degrees colder than the rest of the room. Mm-hmm. So we get through that. We close it out up. We're fine. Because I was like, I don't think we should do this anymore. So they say goodbye to the spirit, what have you. That was on the weekend. That next week at school, I'm telling another friend of ours about this experience, and I mention the name of the spirit. My friend says, do you know who that was? No. It was another student that this particular friend and I had gone to school with in elementary school that had died in a car accident and never liked me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I'm getting, like, the hair on my arms is standing up just talking about this experience. And it was one of the things for me that just, it's that, what do we call it? That personal gnosis. Mm-hmm. An experience that maybe not, you can have an unverified personal gnosis for yourself, even when you're in an experience with other people. Mm-hmm. Because for me, it was knowledge that I had that they didn't have. Had I been touching the planchette, I could have passed it off as, well, I knew subconsciously, so maybe I was pushing the planchette to the letters that it should have gone to. Right. I wasn't touching it. I wasn't even on the bed. I was actually sitting in a chair next to the bed, in like an armchair. Wow. So there's no way that I could have personally influenced that. Mm-hmm. And the thing with the spirit of the child that had passed away, Angela and Kara did not go to elementary school with us. We all didn't meet until we were in junior high. Mm-hmm. So they couldn't have known that either. So it's just the series of events and details in this particular event that just happened to follow along and ring true. Right. Was just really an interesting thing for me. And that's why I do believe that spirit boards work.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah. Did you ever do well, you probably did the board too, right?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Did you do it by yourself?
Tried to.
Yeah. I do it by myself, but I don't really get a lot of stuff. Yeah. Which, probably for the best. But I do have a lovely spirit board.
Yes, you do.
It's not Parker Brothers, for those of you listening at home.
But Parker Brothers works.
Parker Brothers work. Piece of paper written down. You do it writing down, and you use a glass as a planchette. We'd actually, I'd done some research on spirit boards before, and the planchette the one that you see now for spirit boards actually was that's part of the evolution of the planchette, because they used to be the little triangle shaped thing with little legs on it.
Right.
And the hole in the middle where you see the letter used to actually have a pencil there, and they used it for automatic writing.
Right.
Which I thought was kind of a cool evolution of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we have any other things that we want to talk about today?
None that I have loaded in my head.
I know. Do we have any other good spirit? What urban legends? Well, they talked about in this, like, one of the comments had said not doing Bloody Mary.
Right.
Which I don't remember if I ever did Bloody Mary as a child, but I know we had an incident with Liz.
Right.
Doing Bloody Mary.
Right. We did it.
Yeah.
I was scared to do it. Mm-hmm. We did. I remember doing it in a double mirror.
It's even worse. It's even worse. I actually had one house where we had two mirrors that reflected on each other.
Yeah.
And I never liked it. And now I very much try to make sure that I never have two mirrors facing each other.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that thing where you look in the mirror long enough and it doesn't look like you anymore?
Yes.
I get that. That doesn't happen too often, but for those of you out there that maybe do mirror magic or have a lot of mirrors in your house, I always recommend warding your mirrors so that they cannot be used as portals.
Yeah.
And if you ever, I will never purchase an antique mirror.
Yeah.
But even with mirrors that I purchase that are brand new, I ward them. I cleanse them with ammonia, and I use holy oil and specific sigils to ward them so that they cannot be used. Mm-hmm. I don't ward them against, I don't know if I don't ward them against viewing purposes, but nothing can come through.
Yeah.
I don't care if they look at me. I mean, that's weird, you're pervs, but you definitely can't come through.
Yeah.
Which I like, especially since the mirrors in my or the doors of my closet are mirrored.
Yeah.
What other good urban legend-y things do we have?
Well, there's Candyman, too.
I loved that movie. I didn't watch the second one, but I really loved the first one.
Those are easy to get, especially teenagers to cling to.
Well, now there's a new one called Charlie Charlie.
Yeah.
And I guess it's where you have a piece of paper, and I don't know if you draw a circle and you have the different directions on it, mm-hmm. but you and it might have like a yes or no on it, whatever, almost like a pendulum kind of board, mm-hmm. and like you spin it around and you call Charlie Charlie, and I don't know what you chant. When I was researching it, it seems that the lore seems to have come up through Latin America, mm-hmm. but it's like the Latin American version of Bloody Mary.
Oh, I wonder if that's like Kukui.
I don't know, but I like that. I like that legend, though.
The Kukui?
Yeah, that you call the Kukui when stuff in the neighborhood is really bad, and they attack the offenders.
Oh, they're supposed to steal bad children.
Oh, well, okay, so maybe what I read was an evolution of that. From the bad children to bad people.
Yeah. The Kuka, the Kukui.
Yeah.
The Coco.
Yeah. In my book that I'm writing, it's a supernatural thriller, which will possibly never come to a bookstore near you. But some of the characters that I have in there, I tried to research different supernatural beings, and one of them was a kukui.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I'd rather, we always see certain things in books, certain types of supernatural personages that show up in books a lot. But I wanted to represent things that are not necessarily always being represented. Though I did have some of the, it's a, part of it is surrounding the story is surrounding a supernatural prison. Mm-hmm. So offenders that are maybe immortal or different kinds of supernatural creatures are housed in this prison. And one of them is, Elizabeth Bathory.
Yeah.
So I looked through, when I was doing the research, I looked through at different kind of serial killers. And I looked at their habits. And I was like, oh, well, based on this, what kind of supernatural creature could this have potentially been? Mm-hmm. So Elizabeth Bathory, obviously, if you don't know the legend of her, she was called the Blood Countess?
Yeah.
She killed young women and bathed in their blood in the hopes that, or in the belief that bathing in their blood would help her with immortality and to remain young and beautiful.
Yeah.
So she could only have been a vampire.
Right.
But I had some other ones. Let's see. I had the Kukui in there. I'd have to look at it because it's been months since I've even looked at it. But I had a couple other. I was researching different folklore from different countries.
Yeah.
To try and based on the country of origin for the particular serial killer I found. And, like maybe if they were based in South America, I would try and find South American folklore that would fit this particular person. Or if, they were from Korea, I would try and find that different folklore. Mm. Even if they were someone that lived in the United States, maybe that's where they were captured. But their family originated from a different place. I really tried to explore the folklore and legends of that area to find out which supernatural creature I would tie it to. Like the, oh my gosh, what's the one from the Philippines that attacks pregnant women and drinks the fluid from the umbilical cord?
Don't know.
Oh gosh. It is I can see it in my head, but I can't remember the name. So this particular creature, like I said, it attacks pregnant women and it drinks the umbilical fluid from them. And the women often have miscarriages. Mm-hmm. And it's from the Philippines. Let's see. Not Philip. Okay, maybe if I could spell this right.
PH.
Oh, what pops up? The Filipino Pope. No. Supernatural. Superstitions, let's see. Pamano. Maybe it's pregnant women. And twin bananas. Okay, that is not a thing. Hold on, Filipino superstitions or supernatural creatures. All creatures. The copy of the... Come on. No, where is it? Where are you? Attacks pregnant women. Sorry, guys, this is not fun for you. All right, so this is Manananggal. Oh, no, the Ashwang. That's what it is, the Ashwang.
Ashwang.
Yes. So this is a monster that eats the fetus. It's a vampire-like witch ghoul in Philippine mythology. According to legend, they love to eat fetus and unbaptized children.
Huh.
Yeah, so I think I might have had one that was an Ashwang. Mm-hmm. So I really just tried to connect to these cryptids, I guess.
Yeah.
Which was a weird segue here. Sorry. This is not going to be edited out, so you get to listen to me when you're listening to the recording of this. Listening to me search online for vague things that I barely remember. Yay! It's been a long week. So what's up next for us? What should we talk about on our next episode?
I've been wondering that myself.
Yeah. If you are listening on this and you have an idea for our next episode, definitely shoot us a message, shoot us an email, send us commentary on the Instagram or Facebook pages. If you like what you hear from our theme song and would like to hear the whole theme song, we have it on the Golden Apple Patreon page.
Right on.
So if you have not taken a look at that yet, we have some fun facts. We have some, for the podcast, we have some little podcast snippets on there. Get to hear about my new venture, which is workshops. I'm teaching witchcraft workshops.
Yeah, those are awesome.
I'm excited.
I really enjoyed the one I went to.
Yeah, I'm excited about just helping create a sense of community for people. That's been a big thing for me. And meeting people from other paths is always a good thing. Gosh, I'm not sure what we should talk about on our next one. What do we have on our list? Dun, 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 dun. We could look at... Oh, good. Nope, nothing. Nope. Everything on my computer decides it doesn't want to do this. We could talk about... we could talk about witchcraft and pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
We could talk about... we could do another movie link.
Yeah.
When was the last time we haven't done a movie link in a while?
Yeah. What about supernatural and serial killers?
Oh, we could do that. I like that idea. What are your thoughts, listeners? You like supernatural and serial killers? That might be a good one to do.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty fun. Let's pop that in there. Supernatural and serial killers. We are very much a work in progress here, and we decide things by the seat of our pants. All right. I hope that you have enjoyed our podcast today. We hope you found it informative. And we would really love to hear what your thoughts are on the stories that we talked about tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we love the feedback. We love the commentary. Shoot it to us. I believe that we do have it available to add comments onto the episodes in Spotify for sure, and I believe in Apple you can leave comments as well. Mm-hmm. Check out the show notes for links to these particular stories if you like them and maybe want to investigate further. And in the show notes, we will also have all the links to our social media, our email, our Patreon, and that's it for us.
Right on.
That's for us. Thanks for coming over tonight, Lauren. And
thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, we had fun. We were got a little spooky.
Now it's time for chicken noodle soup and
bed.
In bed.
Chicken noodle soup in bed. All right. Well, I want to say thanks to everyone who took the time out to listen today, and please join us for our next episode where we are likely going to talk about the supernatural and serial killers. This has been another episode of What in the Mystical Hell podcast, where Lauren and I are we're not completely on the same page about stuff, but we're on the same page when it comes to freaky shit that happens out in the world.
That's right.
And when things go bump in the night, we bump back. And I want to thank everybody again for just sitting with us and hanging through. And we will see you next time, kids. Thanks so much. We're going to outro with our lovely theme song. Oh, I like that. Stirring the pot all through the night.